young, dumb American, arrogant, throwing fits, ripping shit, tearing it, imperative. Then I'm killing this mic no matter where I live. These derelict rappers acting the fool, this embarrassing is flagrant. That's the nature of this entertainment, and we can't even change it. Guilty before arraignment, now the system tainted. But when we speak, they all laugh at us. And y'all wonder why I'm lacking trust. Try to fight a giant with attorneys that can back them up. That's church versus science, both sides start acting up. I'm late on my assignment, hopping up a mile high, climbing, obviously never silent. New alignment, I'm defiant, can I describe it? Used to describe it as a young graffiti artist. Before the beard, I always got carded. Hit every bar, even though my bar's been the hardest. The scars on my face, and I ain't always been the smartest, but I'll show you where my heart is. I said I'll show you where my heart is. I can show you where my heart's at. See it on my sleeves, even if the beat stops, my soul will not leave. If I never stood tall, nobody will ever see. I can show you where my heart's at. See it on my sleeve, I can show you where my heart's at. See it on my sleeve, even if the beat stops, my soul will not leave. If I never stood tall, nobody will ever see. I can show you where my heart's at. See it on my sleeve, I can show you where
the type of guy that would ride with the breeze. I'm higher than most people, I'm cold and icicle freeze. I'm liking to Mike Tyson, I'm a bison, a beast. I'm hot like Jamaica, like right by the beach. My pops is from a spot where they're fighting for peace. 8 years old, out there watching people fight in the streets. All these sirens only make the violence increase. Yo, we're still not loving police. It's that bright young American, nice, dumb, arrogant. Tight on a mic, but he might need a therapist. Heart full of kerosene, head full of fairy tales. Said that you're my homie, you don't know me, but I know you very well. Roll back on some West Coast shit. This whole track is wetter than your dress code kiss. About to hit the track, running on some retro fit. I guess so lit, I guess so bitch, now let's go.
Show you where my heart's at. See it on my sleeves, even if the beat stops, my soul will not leave. If I never stood tall, nobody.
Yeah, buddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, every time it gets you going. Every time you son of a. God. I'm wearing nothing but Nebraska this fall. Let's just be prepared for it. Nebraska every Tuesday. That's all I'm wearing. I don't care about anything else, Pinky.
I'll take it, baby. I'll take it.
Tuesday, April 11th. Coming in hot. We got a packed show. No nonsense tonight. Well, there's always nonsense. It'll be throughout the show, but no upfront nonsense because we got UFC recap. We got Masters recap. We got NBA playoffs to discuss because they're going on right now. And then we're going to talk a little NFL, little moves that have been made, some draft kind of stuff, get revved up because 2 weeks from now we got our mock. So, yeah, we got to get grooving. So, Pinky, how you doing, my guy?
Oh, man. It's a hot one today, bro.
Dude, it was gorgeous today. Colorado does not see 80 degrees in April ever. This is abnormal and wonderful.
No, it forced me to go into the office today. I worked in the office for the free AC today because I don't have my cooler in my window yet. So
that is not no, sir.
I would have been sitting there sweating, and nobody wants to see Pinky sweating. It's not a pretty sight. So, yeah, had to get up early, drive into the office. Wasn't bad. Wasn't a bad, human interaction is kind of weird, since I've, we've been working from home for like 3 years. So, doing one day a week in the office, it's not bad,
You can handle it.
Yeah, they're talking about moving us to 3 days though, and it's like, I don't know if I want to do that. Come on, guys. So,
that's just their ramp up to be like, oh, by the way, we're full time in the office again.
I'll be like, that's fine, but I'm not sending back the computer or the monitors. The monitors.
I mean, honestly, I can't go back into the office because the area I used to work in is no longer an available area. So, yeah. As far as I know, I'm at home permanently now because they don't want to give us a spot to sit.
There you go. So all right, I'm gonna plug one thing before we do our recap of everything. As a sports fan, go out, check out Air. Awesome movie. I saw it with our buddy SP and Pinky Jr. I thought it was gonna be good anyways. I like Matt Damon. I like Ben Affleck. It was better than I thought it was going to be. Like it was really, really good. And Aaron was telling me the story behind the script. The script was written by like a no-name first-time scriptwriter.
Yep.
And the Ben Affleck and Matt Damon took the script, did some edits, gave it back to him, and took no credit for it. They gave him full credit for the script, even though they made changes, right?
That's awesome.
Whoever makes changes gets an extra credit on there. They gave it to them all. Plus, they made the movie with their production company called Equity Productions. Everybody who worked on it has equity in the film. That's just that's changing the game. So.
Say what you want about Ben Affleck's acting if you are not a fan, but what the dude does as far as production and directing, and putting the opportunities out there for people to have a voice and tell their stories is top class.
Right. And it goes back to him and, somebody giving him and Matt Damon a chance back in the day, right?
I love that they're like best friends coming out of Boston slums. Like, Good Will Hunting is not that far off from their actual story. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I love that.
I love them. My favorite movie with them is the Kevin Smith one, Dogma.
I knew you were going to say that.
I love that. I love that movie. I don't care what people say. Like, that is a awesome guilty pleasure of mine. I love it. So, all right, that's my plug. Go see Air. It's definitely Pinky approved.
I've heard nothing but good things about it, like really good things. So yeah, get out there and take the opportunity when you can. If you're seeing a movie, go see that one. Pinky, start us off with the UFC. The fact that we didn't even mention it last week is, I don't know how that slipped us, but I knew there were some good fights.
I knew the fight was coming up, but I got a message from Andy Friday. Hey, bro, we watching the fights tomorrow? And I was like, oh shit, I forgot that they're on. Okay, yeah, we're watching the fight.
Well, why not? Yeah, that sounds good.
You don't have to ask me twice. It was awesome, man. I got to go over to Andy's and we got to hang out for a while. The fights did not disappoint. This was like a really good fight card. The prelims were good. I'm trying to remember. There was a couple of them, man, that were just great fights that you're like, ooh, that's going to be the 50K fight. Ooh, that's going to be the 50K fight. Like, they were awesome. Talking about that main card, man, they had a young kid. He's 18 years old. He was 7-0 as a professional.
Rosa, right? You're talking about Rosas?
He was talking mad shit.
He was talking a lot of junk coming into this fight. Like, after his last win, he started really talking.
And he was fighting Christian Rodriguez, and Rodriguez, also a younger guy, but he's had a couple UFC fights, and the experience showed, man. Rosa had him in a bad spot in the first round. Rodriguez didn't show any he didn't get anxious.
Panic.
He didn't panic. He stayed calm, collected, and then dominated from then on. It was domination from then on. It was crazy. Rosa's going to be, at 18, he's already one of the top up and coming young fighters. He's only 18 years old. He's definitely going to be up there, but he learned a lesson on that fight. Kevin Holland and Santiago. Santiago's he's been around for a while, let's say. Kevin Holland, man, is in the past, he's talked a lot of junk, literally in the ring. In fact, during one of the intermissions between rounds, he was talking to Dana White and Donald Trump. And that's what Kevin Holland does, man. And he showed out, bro. He knocked that fool out. It was awesome. They were all just great. So Holland had a TKO in the third round. The next fight was Rob Font and Adrian Yanez, and Font just got him, and he was just out cold, man. It was sick in the first round too. Very into the first round.
Yeah, he rocked him.
And everybody, it was kind of surprised. Like everybody was thinking Yanez was. I think Yanez was the favorite on that one. And it was just that, man, we had such a good time. Burns and Masvidal. This went pretty much how I thought it was going to go. Masvidal has not looked great in his last, I think the last 3 years. I think
he hasn't, but I heard the last couple of fights he was injured, nicked up, things of that nature. Said he couldn't really train the way he wanted to. Came out and said he's fully healthy. He's feeling great. I really thought he was going to get this one. I really thought he was going to get a knockout.
I just didn't see it from him, man. And he played more like, again, in the past, he's been more of a counter type of guy. And that's what he was waiting. He was trying to counter Gilbert. And he just didn't get those moments to he just wasn't sharp anymore. It's kind of what kind of happened. And
I agree.
Sharp.
Well, and he came out after the fight and said he's retiring and he just doesn't feel the same being in the ring. So,
I have a problem with Masvidal talking shit before the fight of, hey, McGregor, if you want to come out, I'll bust your ass, and then you retire after the fight. Like, I mean, come on, bro. Like,
if McGregor wants that fight, he'll come back. He'll take that payday.
Masvidal wants to make some money.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, he'll take that payday every day.
And the fight that everybody wanted to see was the Alex Pereira, the champ, versus Israel Adesanya. And, the first matchup of these guys in the UFC, Adesanya was definitely winning the fight. And then in the 5th round, Pereira got him and was able to put him to sleep, right?
I mean, you say that like he was dominating. Like from what I remember seeing, it was more like a 10-9 kind of thing. Like he wasn't like blowing him out of the water, but he was gonna win if it went to the decision.
He was wearing him out and had won every round. So as a champion, when you looked at it, it's like, yeah, he didn't knock the guy out, but he won every round. And it was literally, if Pereira did not knock him out, he was going to lose. And Pereira did knock him out, which then made this rematch, and it was an immediate rematch.
That's what it should be. Like, that's definitely what it should be when you get these fights that are close like that. So it was nice to see them get back at it. Dude, it looked like Pereira was getting ready to lay a whooping on Adesanya. Up against the cage.
I had literally called it the second before Adesanya tags him. Because Adesanya turtled up and Pereira got him in the gut and then kneed him in the head and came back for like another one. And I was like, oh no. I was like, Adesanya's done. And then all of a sudden, Adesanya threw a punch that landed, got him clean. And
right on his temple, dude.
Well,
straight to his temple.
He got him on the chin first.
Right.
The second one was on the temple, and that's what put him out.
Yeah, it looked like Pereira took the one to the chin all right.
Well,
it didn't look like it. Yeah, I mean, it backed him up just enough to where he could come in with the right to the temple. But boy, that was on the button, man. And he went down. Pereira went down quickly. Adesanya went to go jump on him. Ref came in, called it, all done. It was a good fight. I would not be surprised if we saw a trilogy on that one at all. The only reason I think we wouldn't is because Pereira, there's talk of him moving to light heavy.
Oh,
did I hear that correctly?
Yeah.
I mean, that's his natural weight. Like, his natural weight is light heavy. So he could just be vicious at light heavy because he wouldn't have to cut. He would be all muscle.
He'd be a little bit small for some of the light heavies, though.
Maybe, but that's what Adesanya is when he fights Pereira now. You know what I mean? Like, Pereira gains 10 to 15 pounds overnight before they fight at middleweight. So, it would be interesting to see him there and see what happens if they each take a fight off from each other. Adesanya goes and defends his belt. Pereira goes and wins in the light heavy. It would be interesting to see them fight again after that.
Well, the only fight that, I mean, technically they could probably move Pereira up to light heavy. and give him, Jan Blachowicz. They could give him the loser of the Stipe John Jones fight.
Jones isn't dropping back down to light heavy.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. That's right. Jones is heavyweight. Sorry.
Yeah, Jones and Stipe is definitely not moving down to light heavy.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm thinking too heavy. I guess Jan Blachowicz is 205. I can't remember who else is at that 205. The 205 division's not as strong as it had been in the past.
Isn't that what Connor says he wants to fight at now? Is light heavy?
I think he still wants to fight it. I think he has to fight at 185.
Okay.
He could not fight it at 205.
That'd be I know.
I know. He's not small like size wise anymore, but his height he would just get destroyed.
I'd agree. I would agree with that.
He's put on enough size and mass to fight probably at 185 or 205, but
it's going to be interesting to see what he looks like when his fight finally rolls around because he put on a lot of mass, a lot of muscle mass over the last couple of years.
I think he's fighting Chandler at 170, I think.
What's that considered? 'Cause that's middleweight's like 185, right?
That's welterweight.
Welterweight. Okay. I always mix those weight classes up.
Yeah. Well, now they've got those smaller ones too. That's where I get all confused, like bantam and straw and feather.
Yeah.
I get all those confused. I know lightweight's 155, welter's 170. You got middleweight at 185, light heavy at 205, and heavyweight's 225 and over.
Isn't there a cap on heavyweight though?
265.
Which is stupid. I that's so dumb. Like it should be all and up, like or make another weight class because that's just dumb. Like
I mean, technically, if they had enough guys, they could probably do a super heavy, which would be 265 and above.
You don't see boxers talking about, oh well, I'm heavyweight and you're super heavyweight, so we can't box. No, we're both heavyweights because we're above this. Let's go at it. Let's do this. Royce Gracie wasn't worried about no super heavyweight.
Yeah, but I mean, the game's changed a lot since when he was fighting, man. Most of the heavyweights have good all-around skills these days, like they didn't have before.
No, not at all. not at all. He did things that they had no idea what to do with.
They were like, "Oh, damn, yeah." The next fights are May 6th, and
that's a Connor.
No, Connor won't be till the fall. Because Ultimate Fighter is airing this summer.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Him and Chandler are coaching the Ultimate Fighter, and then they'll fight. They'll fight in the fall. But the UFC 288 has Aljamain Sterling and Henry Cejudo. I'm probably saying that wrong. Is coming out of retirement to fight.
Yeah, neither one of those interests me whatsoever.
Charles Oliveira, who used to be champion until he got knocked out.
He puts on some good fights.
I like him. He's fighting Benel Dariush, who is an up-and-comer guy who's been around for a little bit. So that's interesting. And then Jessica Andrade versus Jan. I don't even know how to say her name. I'm not even going to try. But those top three are they're interesting matchups that, should be fun. Thanks, Clayton. I appreciate that, buddy. Cheers to him. Cheers to Clayton. And any of our guys that hang out with us.
So before we move on from the fights this weekend, I became a huge Israel Adesanya fan, and I was not. I was rooting for Pereira. Let's be clear. I almost put in a bet for a 3-leg parlay, Rosas, Masvidal, Pereira. And Pinky said, that sounds stupid. And I said, I have a feeling about it. And then I decided not to put it in. I don't remember what happened, but something happened. I didn't put it in. Rosas was like a minus 320 or something to win his fight. And he lost. So right there, I was like, oh, thank God I didn't bet that. And then all three of the people I was going to bet on lost. So lucked out there. But became a huge Israel Adesanya fan because of the way he ended his ring walk before they handed him the belt back. And Pinky, I know you saw this, but for those of you that didn't, back when Pereira and Adesanya fought in a kickboxing match like 6 years ago or something like that, 5 years ago, when Pereira knocked out Adesanya, Pereira's 5-year-old son was in the ring, and he looked at everybody in the crowd and then just did dead fish, boom, straight to the mat, like he got knocked out. And he was imitating Adesanya and what his dad just did to him. So as Pereira is laying on the mat getting checked, Adesanya walked around the ring until he saw Pereira's son, pointed at him, directly at him, and went dead fish and just fell. This kid's like 10 years old now, and Adesanya, oh my God, sitting there talking smack to a 10-year-old. Look what I just did to your dad. Oh my God, I loved it. I loved it.
And the kid was crying already.
Already crying. Cold, man. Cold. I loved it. Talk some smack. Just do it. Just do it.
I saw so much hate on Twitter about that, and I was like, I don't get it. The 5-year-old can talk shit, but I can't talk shit back to him. Like that's not the right standard to be setting here. If you talk shit, no matter how old you are, you better be able to take it. Period.
Damn right. I agree. And it's not like he was cussing the kid out or swinging on him or anything. He's just like, look what I did to your daddy.
So I thought it was so much like that was really funny. But when he's sitting over him and he's just
with the 3 arrows right after he knocked him out.
That was dirty.
The word on the street from that is that was 1 arrow for each demon that Pereira cost him, meaning Pereira was 3-0 against him before that fight. So Adesanya put 3 arrows in him to make up for those 3 demons that he was holding.
No, we don't like the Brewers here, bro. Sorry. I have no idea what that's all about. We'd have to look that up, my man.
Yeah, you don't want to get us started on umpires in baseball.
Yeah, I don't believe in umpires anyway, so
you're probably not going to be happy with our baseball takes, or at least mine. So we stay away from them for a little bit. We'll talk a little baseball here and there.
We're just not there yet.
Go back, sidetrack, Clayton. Go back a couple weeks, and we had a former major leaguer on. Got to talk to him about some of the new rules. He was a pitcher. Got to look into that and get some insight from a former major league pitcher. So that was a lot of fun. He did change my mind. Sidetrack. I know we're kind of off here, but this former major league pitcher, Tim Wood, did change my mind about robot umps. And why we're not quite ready for them based on the technology. So I was all for robot umps until we talked to him, and he finally gave me a reason to understand why they're not good yet. But yeah, we don't talk a lot of baseball. We will from time to time, but Pinky's not a baseball guy at all, and I've learned that if I talk baseball, a lot of people hate me for it. So. We don't talk as much because apparently I don't know what I'm talking about, even though I love the game.
I claimed my fandom.
You did. You're a Braves fan again. Cheers to you.
They're up 7-6 if you care. I mean, I've got the score up.
So, yeah, you got baseball topics? Throw them to us. We'll be more than happy to shout them out and talk to them, but we don't talk baseball on a regular basis, I'll say.
Avalanche up 1-0.
I was just flipping over. I just got done watching the Hawks beat the Heat.
Oh, never mind. Oilers just scored 30 seconds later.
All right, back to Zeros. Even
1-1. 1-1.
Wait, really? You got them scoring? Oh, it's got to happen right now, I guess.
Yeah, Edmonton scored.
Yep, right there. Wicked slap from the outside. Oh, that was a poor goal given up by Gorgiev. Ugh. All right.
This is going to be like a 4-3 game. I should have bet the over. The over was 6.5. I feel like it's going to go 7-8 goals.
Yeah, I should have bet the over. Definitely should have bet the over. So fights were good. It was a good week for fights. Let's hope the next round is similar. And we'll go from there. Clayton, you are absolutely correct. That was a huge OT win they had 2 days ago with McKinnon getting that goal. Needed that real bad.
That was a sick
that real bad. They're starting to get healthy. There is talk that Makar and Manson will be healthy and ready to go for game 1 of the playoffs when those start. The big question is still Gabriel Landeskog. That's still a big question mark, but there's been a lot of positive talk around the organization that he will play in the playoffs at some point. What he'll be able to contribute, though, after missing the whole season is hard to say, but he's skating with the team. So that's positive news. Obviously, we're homers. We're big Avs fans. So we just hope that they can repeat, but we'll wait and see. But we get to watch them tonight. They're on national TV, so that's always a plus.
I don't get to watch them.
I do. I do because I take the cable.
They're not on ESPN Plus.
They're not on ESPN Plus tonight. They're on TNT.
They're on ESPN too. They're on ESPN as well.
What?
They're just not on ESPN Plus.
No, it's not on ESPN tonight.
It is. It says ESPN right on my phone.
Well, it's wrong because ESPN is hosting the playoff games right now. NBA playoff games.
TNT's got the playoff games.
No.
TNT's got the playing games.
Pinky.
According to Bleacher.
Oh, my bad. You're right. I'm the other way around. Avs are on ESPN tonight. You're right. My bad. I'm flipping back and forth and I'm confusing myself. Avs are on ESPN tonight. The NBA's on TNT. My bad. That was stupid. I'm going to have another sip.
Oh, man.
All right. Masters recap. I'm just going to pretty much do a couple little highlights here. Tiger, I think, is, unless he can take a good year or two off and really find a way to heal his leg, I don't know if he'll ever be able to compete again. He had one awkward shot out of a bunker, really awkward lie, feet below the ball, didn't look good, re-aggravated his plantar fascia, knees killing him. He had to withdraw. The cold weather just wasn't good. Wasn't playing great before that either. So we'll have to wait and see what he can do come the PGA Championship here in about a month. Not expecting a lot from Tiger anymore, unfortunately. Those injuries are just too much. The final round was the leading group final round, I'll say specifically, was a bit lackluster. Wasn't quite and I admit I'm wrong all the time. I'm like the only one that does admit when I'm wrong. Go back and watch the tape. I continuously admit when I'm wrong. So maybe you should talk to your husband about admitting when he's wrong. Like, let's not go there. I'm notorious for it. Let's not throw shade where it's not due. Okay, like come on. Got me all flustered here. Hannah, knock it off. It was a little lackluster, the final pairing. Koepka could not come out and fire. Rahm was on his game. I will not say Rahm won as much as Koepka lost. And I hate doing that kind of thing. But when you go 4 over in the final round of the tourney, when you started the day at 12 and you end at 7, actually, I think he might have finished at 7. So he is 4 or 5 over for the day on the final round at the Masters. Rahm was 2 or 3 under. It's a bad look.
Rahm was down 4 going into the final thing, man.
Yeah.
He had to catch
So,
up.
Koepka could have shot even par, and there would have been a playoff. So, now he came out and said, I should have played better. He also came out, which is something I was talking about the whole day watching. The group ahead of him was playing super slow, and specifically a guy by the name of Cantley. So much so that his partner for the day, Victor Hovland, started playing holes without him even up there at the green yet. Started chipping and putting out, was not waiting, just started playing, wasn't having any part of it. The PGA's got to do something. It's time. If baseball is willing to do a pitch clock, you should put a timer on these guys for every shot. 2 minutes max. 2 minutes is plenty of time to read a putt, get a distance and pick a club, take your lie and hit. Like, there's no reason it should take you more than 2 minutes to take a golf shot, period. There's just not. And guys that do, whether you're amateur or professional, you're a joke. Sorry, you're a joke. I've played with plenty of people over the years that play slow, and it is annoying as hell, and it will ruin a round really fast. My buddy and I, Zach, we can play 18 in 3 hours, easy, if we're not waiting on anybody. And we don't play any better or worse if we play in 3 hours or if we play in 6. But I will tell you, it's a lot more enjoyable if I play it in 3 than it is in 6. So PGA's got to do something. The pace of play was ridiculous. Shouldn't happen. You should not have the final pairing waiting to play shots for 5+ minutes because the group ahead of them can't get their shit together. So, little lackluster. I will say Spieth made a nice run on the final day to finish 3rd, I believe. And Phil came out of nowhere. Oldest player to shoot the lowest score in Masters history. Ended up tied for 2nd with Koepka. So, while the LIV guys did not win, 12 out of the 16 LIV players that were in the tournament made the cut. So, for anybody talking smack about LIV and how they're not up to par and they haven't been playing professional golf and this and that, they came out and played really well. So, while they may not have won, and boy, Rahm saved the PGA and the Masters. He saved them, because if he hadn't played well and they had to put that green jacket on Koepka, shit would have hit the fan. So Rahm is probably the Masters and the PGA's favorite winner of all time at this point, right now, based on the fact that they were able to put a green jacket on a PGA player. So all in all, it was a good weekend. I would not have been able to play on Saturday morning. You're talking 45 degrees, rain, and windy. That would be miserable golf weather. Absolutely miserable. So more power to those dudes for being out there and getting through the round. They didn't all finish on Saturday. They had to finish a couple of the groups Sunday morning. But, that's what you got to do when there's inclement weather. So more power to the guys for fighting through the weekend, some nasty conditions. Overall, it was good, but that final day was not what you want to see. Not what you want to see, unfortunately.
Well, it didn't have the drama. I know, at the end of the day, we want to kind of have that drama, and that's probably why you talk a little bit about Koepka lost it more than Rahm won it, because you just didn't have that both guys shooting well. You just had one guy shooting really shitty, and the other guy shooting well enough, right? So yep. I get it. I get you.
It's unfortunate. But I will say, final thing I will say is more power to Jon Rahm. And for anybody out there who, gets down and quits or gets down on themselves and then doesn't play at their best afterwards, go look at what Jon Rahm did to start the tournament. Very first hole, he double bogeys and he 4 putts. The very first hole of the Masters, he 4 putts for a double bogey, starts the day, the entire tournament, +2, and comes back and wins it all. So talk about fighting through adversity, knowing your worth, knowing what you're capable of, and going out there and performing. One bad hole, one bad shot does not make a round. It does not make a tournament. So big fan of Jon Rahm, and after seeing that, even a bigger fan. So congratulations to him on his first green jacket, and be interesting to see what he can do in the next 3 majors. It'll also be interesting to see what the LIV guys can do in the next 3 majors, because I'm still waiting to see. Very doubtful that they'll be allowed to play at the PGA Championship, because it's the PGA Championship. But I'm pretty sure they'll be at the U.S. and the Open. So that'll be the storyline going forward still for sure.
It's good to continue that controversy. I know any major business hates a competitor, right? So, and that I think that that can help both guys out. Although I know, like Cotton was saying, like the rules in the live just make it to where it's not really watchable. So.
Yeah, I mean, they're on the CW of all networks that they got to deal with. So the fact that some random cable channel is showing their excuse me, their tournaments, that's not going to happen much.
So you you watch the live and then you go watch the Flash. Is that how that works?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly stream right into one or the other. You know what I mean? All good. Yeah, Clayton, love McIlroy. Big fan of Rory. He had a bad weekend. He's still looking for that career Grand Slam. The Masters, the Green Jacket is the one tournament he hasn't been able to win. And he's been playing well. So for him to come out and play the way he did, he's been known to have a bad first round or not a great first round and then turn it on Saturday, Sunday after the cut and put himself in position to be close. But he just can't seem to put a full 4 days together at the Masters for some reason. So it'll be interesting to see if he can get that in the next couple of years because his game and the way these young guys are coming up, it's going to be tough. If he can't get it done in the next couple of years in his prime, I don't know if Rory will ever see that jacket go on.
He's just got to take that pressure, throw it away. Just grip it and rip it, baby. Don't worry about the pressure.
He's known for that. So I would not be surprised if Rory wins one of the next three. That would not surprise me at all. It would not surprise me if Koepka wins one of the next three. I mean, the dude's basically said all he cares about is the majors anyways, and he's already got a handful under his belt. Rahm's going to be really interesting to watch. JT's always going to be right there. Spieth is playing well recently, so he can put his name back in the contention for these championships. There's a few other guys who are playing well. Hovland came out and played really well at the Masters for the most part. You got some of these younger guys coming up. So there's some names to keep an eye on for sure. So these next three will be really interesting.
I have nothing to say on that. So, yeah, we're good.
I might get Pinky out on the golf course one of these days. Just maybe. Just maybe he'll come join Zach and I to hang out.
I mean, I'll hang out. Like, I'm not playing, but I'll hang out with you. Nobody's got time to watch me try to get through a round of golf. It just wouldn't happen. I can't hit worth shit.
You only learn if you play.
I can't hit a golf ball, bro. I just can't. Like, I'm not.
Maybe we'll go get you out on the par 3 course. That's fun. And you spend 2 hours on the course. It should only take you 30 minutes to play. The other hour and a half is just waiting for people to play because that's where people who aren't that good play.
Clayton, you had me at hello, baby. Like, I will go. I will tag and drink. I'm good with that. I will be.
Look, we don't condone drinking and driving. Don't condone it at all. But I don't know if it's called drinking and driving when you're on a golf course. Just saying. I don't know. So,
all right.
Golf, love it.
Golf is. I won money. I bet on Rahm to win it, and
more power to you. Well done, Pinky.
Although I took my winnings and I won, and now I'm losing. So whatever.
Yeah, that's tough.
It's ups and downs.
So
tough. I still got my tattoo money, so we're good.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters, buddy.
We're 1 month away. It's scheduled for the 17th.
Look, I got that 97 cents. I've turned it into $10 in the last 3 weeks. Let's hope I can get it up to about $1,000. That's what I need for my tattoo money.
I mean, we can
got a long way to go. We got a long way to go, but we're going to try to be smart about this and push it up there.
Where are we going next?
I think we'll finish with the
NBA?
NFL. I think we'll finish with the NFL. So let's do the NBA because this is gonna, you know how much I love my basketball, and there's some stuff to discuss here. So,
congratulations to the Hawks for getting the 7th seed. I didn't think they had them in them. Charles Barkley actually bet, like he said, he bet $1 billion that the Heat would win that game.
Yeah, well, what did I tell you before that game kicked? We were talking about possibly betting it. What did I tell you?
You didn't like it.
I didn't like it. Something didn't feel right. Not saying that the Heat were going to lose, but I wasn't counting the Hawks out like a lot of people were. So, playing game started tonight. You have the Hawks and the Heat, and then we've got the Timberwolves and the Lakers coming up next. Tomorrow night, you're going to have the Bulls and Raptors, and then Thunder and Pelicans. So let's run through this a little bit here. Hawks and Heat. The Heat, to me, are one of the most inconsistent teams in the league. Plenty of talent. Adebayo, Jimmy, Hero. They've got guys. But for whatever reason, they can't seem to put it all together and go to that next level, if you will.
They couldn't play defense tonight.
Not good. It was not good. But really, it wasn't so much that they couldn't play defense. It was that their offense was just non-existent, which has been a problem all year for them. They were the lowest scoring offense in the league at like 109 points per game on average. Or something along those lines. And in today's day and age in the NBA, if you can't play on the offensive side of the ball with the way the rules are set, it doesn't matter how good you are at defense, you're probably not going to win.
If you are going to score a little bit lower and not be as consistent on offense, you better be really damn good on defense.
Yeah, but like that's what I mean though. Even that is not going to, they're a 500 team, and that's what happens in those situations, because the rules of the NBA are not set up to allow a defensive team to win anymore. They're just not. You can't body somebody up. There's no such thing as a hard foul in the lane anymore. There's just so many things that have gone away over the years that do not allow a defensive guy to truly shine.
The last dynasty was the Spurs. I don't know if they could win.
Oh, no. The last dynasty was not the Spurs. Sam, get the out of here. No. You've been listening to your buddy too much. The last dynasty was the Golden State Warriors, which is still in effect, technically speaking.
Okay.
Because if you're going to call the Spurs a dynasty, who did 5 over like 10, 11 years.
Okay. So I should say the Warriors are in their current dynasty. Yes, that's true. The previous dynasty, who won mainly defensively and playing, good all-around basketball.
I'll give you that. Yes. Now, Golden State was a top 5 defense and offense when they won in 15 and 17, I believe. So, people always talk about Golden State being this offensive juggernaut, and that's all they talk about. They won those championships because of how good they were on the defensive end and the fact that they were the best offense in the league. So the way people discredit those Golden State teams as not being defensive-minded is just ridiculous. And I'm tired of the narrative because it's just not true. Now, you can say Steph isn't a great defensive player, and I'll give you that. He's drastically improved his defense over the years, and he's serviceable now. But they had defensive teams. So, with that being said, the Heat don't have the offensive side of the ball, and they're so-so on defense. They're not great. The Hawks have some offensive weapons. When you've got Trae Young, when you've got Dejounte Murray, you've got John Collins, you've got a couple other dudes out there. Man, still on the tequila kick. Brown water, sir. It's all about the brown water.
I'm just being cheap right now. I need to get some more whiskey, but
you do you. The Hawks have some offensive weapons. They score a lot of points. People are trying to bump Trae Young up. I still don't know if he's even a top 5 point guard in the league. And that's just because of his shot selection and his turnover ratio are just too bad for my liking. But they're dangerous, and they can get hot real quick, real easy. So it was not a surprise to see them beat the Heat. The Lakers, which is the game that's about to kick off, I would not be surprised to see LeBron sit the entire second half tonight, because the Timberwolves are without their 2 top defenders in Rudy Gobert and Jaden Daniel. McDaniel or Daniel?
I think it's McDaniel. I don't know. I think it's McDaniel, though. I do.
I'm second guessing myself. I feel like it's McDaniel.
Do you want me to
look it up?
Google it.
Look it up. Let's see how wrong I am again. But you lose that, and then you go up against a team who's rolling right now in the Lakers.
McDaniels.
Okay, McDaniels. Thank you. Yeah, started second guessing myself there for a second. Not good when you do that. Not good. But the Timberwolves aren't great to begin with. Karl Anthony Towns just came back a 3 weeks ago, and he's been playing good. But, him and Gobert I never saw as a good fit. I still am trying to figure out why you give up 4 first-round picks and all the players they gave up for Gobert. That's mind-boggling.
If you don't score like 30 a night, I am not giving up 4 first-round picks for you. I'm just not
even 30. I'll take 15, 10, and 5. And when I say 5, I mean 5 blocks. Because if you can completely shut down the lane and force the other team to play outside, you're worth it. But Gobert's never been that good. The fact that he ever won a Defensive Player Award is mind-blowing to me, because I've never seen him as a stalwart, a defensive stopper. He's a liability on the offensive end, and he's a liability on the defensive end, because if you pull him away from the basket, he's worthless.
Oh, whoever made that trade should absolutely get fired. That is the worst trade in NBA history.
Cody, you're absolutely right. They robbed them. Danny Ainge is a legend. Danny Ainge is an absolute legend. And do you know who the GM, the president of basketball operations, is for the T-Wolves, Pinky?
I do.
Tim Connelly, the former Denver Nuggets GM, who, let's be honest, did a lot of really good things for the Nuggets. And for him to then turn around to the Timberwolves and make that move does not make any sense. There's nothing about it that was a good idea. So the Timberwolves ruined their future. And I don't see them ever being good again. Now, if you can find a way to unload Rudy Gobert and get a couple picks back, and you can build around Anthony Edwards, you could have something. Because McDaniels is a great defensive stopper, young dude, up and coming. And Anthony Edwards is a beast who's only getting better every year. Karl Anthony Towns is not going to be your number 1, maybe even not your number 2, depending on what kind of team you put around Anthony Edwards. But Karl Anthony Towns is a poor man Jokic. And I truly mean that. Dude is solid. So, if he stays healthy, he can do a lot of the same things Jokic, Domantas Sabonis can do at a high level. So Karl Anthony Towns is a great piece to keep. It just depends on what you're going to put around Anthony Edwards moving forward. And Rudy Gobert is not it. So we're easily taking the Lakers. Like I said, I would not be surprised if Braun can sit the entire second half of this game tonight. I don't expect it to be close at all. Maybe Braun plays and they let Street Clothes sit and get a little bit of rest. Maybe both. I don't know. But the Lakers are moving on. The Lakers will get the 7 seed, which as a Nuggets fan, you love seeing. Because I don't want to see the Lakers in the first round in the 7-game series. Let them go play Memphis and let them have to bang and get beat up. I'm all for that. So that means you've got Atlanta moving on. Atlanta's going to be the 7 seed. Miami's going to have to play Chicago or Toronto, the winner of that, to see if they can clinch an 8 seed. Timberwolves will then have to move on and play OKC, or I'm going to draw a blank here.
New Orleans.
Pelicans, that's right. Thank you. The winner of the Thunder Pelicans. That's who the Timberwolves will play. Well done, Pinky. Gobert will be back for that game because he's only getting a 1-game suspension, but I don't think that matters. Even if the Timberwolves can win and become the 8th seed, I think Denver could easily sweep that or go 5-1. I'm just not concerned about the Timberwolves, especially with McDaniels being out. I don't think people understand how big of a loss that is. That is their defensive stopper. He's one of the top defenders in the league. So to not have him on the perimeter guarding the other team's best guy, that's a huge loss. And that allows the other team's offense to be wide open. And like I said, Gobert's a liability on the perimeter. He can't do anything on the perimeter. So you pull him away from the basket and they're screwed. So even if the Timberwolves can beat the Thunder or the Pelicans, I'm not worried about it. What I will say is with Atlanta moving on to the 7, Lakers we're predicting will be the 7. I don't really think that's much of a prediction. I think you could probably write that in stone. But I would venture to guess that Miami will beat the winner of the Bulls Raptors. So I do think Miami will be the 8th seed. And I also think that actually the Thunder will be the young, up-and-coming, dangerous Thunder will be the 8th seed in the West. And I could see the Nuggets going 4-0, 5-1 against the Thunder, but the Thunder will make them work for every single one of those games.
You said that twice, Caleb. You can only go 4-1. You can't go 5-1.
I don't know why I keep saying 5-1. 4-1, 5 games is what I'm trying to say. Thank you, Pinky. Trying to say 5 games. So we'll see. Clayton, the Bulls are not moving on. They've got too many pieces missing or guys that have missed so much time that they haven't been able to get it together this year.
I will say I am super excited for the Thunder in the future.
Dude, they're doing this right now without Chet Holmgren. So he comes back next year, healthy. They've still got like 7 first-round picks in the next 5 years. And a lot of those are looking like they're going to be upper-level picks where they're going to get some talent. So the Thunder are going to be really dangerous. Really, really dangerous. So keep an eye out for them. But that's the way I'm seeing these play-ins is obviously Hawks, Lakers, and then I'll take the Heat as the 8, and I'll take OKC as the 8. I think OKC will win tomorrow night, and then I think they'll beat the Timberwolves. That's how I see it going down.
I'd agree. Cheers.
Cheers. So since the playoffs are going to start before we come on again, they'll kick off this upcoming weekend. That would leave in the East, you would be looking at the Bucks and the Heat. I think the Bucks roll that easy.
Oh.
I don't see that being much of a series. Giannis is playing at an MVP level. I actually think he's the MVP this year. Drew Holiday. They are. I agree. Just because of the narrative that him and everybody else that's a fan of his created against Jokic. But I think Giannis is the MVP this year.
Look, I'll be honest. You give it to any one of those 3 guys, I'm not really arguing.
I'm going to agree. I fully agree with that. I think all 3 of them deserve it. So pick one, take a name out of a hat. I don't really care. I just don't like the way Embiid's been talking and the narrative that his fans have created around him, basically putting down Jokic and not even talking about Giannis. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
If you have to put down another guy's achievements to bring up your guy's achievements, you've already lost the argument. Agreed. Because you shouldn't have to. If your guy's been that great, you don't even have to talk about anybody else, right? There's not a discussion. It's that, and again, I think it's just completely disgusting that Giannis hasn't gotten any conversation over the last 6 weeks because his team has kept rolling and he's kept being awesome. So,
I mean, let's be honest. If we're talking about numbers, Yes, Embiid led the league in scoring. Yes, he scored the most points for a center since like Les Unseld or something like that in the 70s. Blah, 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 blah. Like, scoring isn't that big of a deal to me if you don't do anything else on the court. He plays defense at a slightly above average level. He's not as good a defender as people try to make him out to be. He's not putting up historic numbers. Giannis and Jokic both had seasons where they put up historic numbers. The reason I think Giannis is my MVP this season, even though I'm a homer for the Nuggets and Jokic, the reason I would personally give it to Giannis is because his team has the best record in the league, and Giannis does play both sides of the floor. So while he's playing really well on the offensive end, he also plays really well on the defensive end. And so that was kind of my deciding factor. Now, if Jokic hadn't sat the last 2 weeks, if he had put up the triple-double, if the Nuggets had finished with an equal record to the Bucks, I would have gone with Jokic because I think he has less of a supporting cast than Giannis does. So I think he's doing more with less, and that would have been the deciding factor. But that's not the way it worked out. So props to Giannis and the Bucks for getting that 1 seed.
Let's be honest. If Jokic hadn't already won back-to-back MVPs, the way he played this season, he probably wins an MVP.
Quite possibly, with them being the 1 seed in the West, it's quite possible. But he did get back-to-back, so you can't be mad. And I think, honestly, he kind of sat the last couple of weeks because he was tired of the narrative. I honestly think it was weighing on him. He was sick of listening to it, so he's like, I'm just going to rest. We got this. We're good. Don't like the way the Nuggets season finished, and we'll get there. But they're good. So, Bucks, Heat, Bucks rolling. I could easily see the Bucks sweeping that series and moving right along.
Bucks
now, I will say, and we're only going to do the first round right now. We're not even going to pick championships right now. Well, we could pick the championship. We can do that right now just to see how it falls down.
Put your money on the Bucks.
We'll see how that falls down. We'll get there after I run through the matchups here, Pinky. We'll each pick who we think comes out of the East and West and who we got in the championship game. But I think the Bucks roll. The problem the Bucks are going to have is it's starting to sound like they might be without Chris Middleton for the playoffs again. And that is a huge loss for them. A huge loss. They've got guys that have stepped up this season without him being in the lineup. So they're more prepared this year than they were last year. But we will see PG, Pinky. We're a PG telecast. Well played, sir. So we'll see what happens there. You're going to have Boston and...
They would play the 7th seed, right?
Yeah. Why am I drawing a blank all of a sudden? I'm having a bad night. Night. No, the Heat are going to be 8. The Hawks, sorry. The Hawks and Boston. Boston wins that in 5. I don't think they sweep it. I think the Hawks can steal a game. Boston wins that in 5, moving right along. You're going to have the Sixers and the Nets. I think the Sixers in 5, maybe 6. The Nets might be able to steal a game or 2, but that's the Sixers moving right along. The real interesting series in the East is going to be the Knicks and the Cavs. Knicks fans are screaming orange and blue skies. We got Jalen Brunson. We got our boys going hot. The bench is playing well. Randolph is playing well. I think I like Cleveland. I like Cleveland's young core. You like the Knicks?
I like the Knicks. I do.
Okay. All right. I like the Cavs. Donovan Mitchell, Mobley, Darius Garland. They got some pieces that I really like.
If Julius Randle is out, then I think you would go with the Cavs.
Randall's going to play. I'm not too worried about that. He'll be playing, I'm pretty sure. But I do like the Cavs in that series. I think it's a 7-game series. I think it's just a brutal, in-your-face, back-and-forth kind of series. It's going to be one I keep a close eye on. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch, I think. Both teams play really well on both ends of the court for the most part. So that's going to be the fun series to watch. That 4-5 Cleveland, New York. I do like the Cavs, though. You like New York. We'll see what happens. Heading out west, we've already said Nugs win first round against the 8 seed, who we both believe will be the Thunder. I don't think it's a competitive series in the sense that it goes a lot of games, but I think every game will be competitive.
The Thunder get at least one. They might take 2.
Nah, I think they'll be lucky to get one, honestly.
I think they get one, though. I do think they get one.
Okay. I mean, I'm okay with one. I don't think it's any more than that. So there's that. You got what appears to be, based on what we're calling right now, Grizz Lakers. I think the Grizz could beat the Lakers up enough to get that in 6 or 7. I really do.
7. I think 7.
Now, the big issue is going to be no Steven Adams for the Grizzlies. If Steven Adams was playing, I would actually say Grizzlies in 5 or 6. But without Steven Adams, I will say that they'll go 6 or 7. Clayton, I don't trust street clothes. And if street clothes can't perform, they're not going to do well. And Jaren Jackson can shut down street clothes. Jaren Jackson is playing really good ball.
When street clothes is playing, you don't really shut him down. You slow him down. There's a difference.
Well, when I say shut him down, I'm saying he's going to be like 20-8. He's not going to be 30-15, okay? That's what I mean by shutting him down. But Jaren Jackson can play both ends of the floor, and he's a good defender. And he's got the length to keep up with street clothes. That's where it's really going to affect him.
Clayton, the Lakers have played much better after the trade deadline, where they picked up a couple players.
Absolutely,
that have really helped them. Absolutely true.
I mean, I'm on record as saying that was a magic move by that front office, which I didn't see coming, and it was a huge get. And I actually said, Pinky, I'm on record. I said the West should be scared after that trade was made. The West should be scared.
Unfortunately,
if the Nuggets were playing the Lakers in the first round, if the Lakers were playing the Nuggets in the first round, I would be nervous. I would be very nervous, actually, because the Nugs and their front court do not match up well against LeBron and street clothes. They just don't. But thank God they didn't get to the 6th seed to play Golden State. To take that away from Golden State and play the Kings, because I think they'd match up well against the Kings. And thank God they didn't get the 8th seed. Unless they somehow decide they want to lose tonight and then go out and beat Oklahoma City to get the 8th seed, specifically because they'd rather play the Nugs in the first round than the Grizzlies. That would be a ballsy move because that's not a given. The Nugs are really good, but that would be a ballsy move if they did it. I don't see that happening. I see them going and playing the Grizzlies. I like the Grizzlies in that series because of the matchups. So it's going to be interesting, but I do think Grizzlies in 6 or 7. I do. And that's only because Steven Adams isn't playing. If Steven Adams was playing, I would honestly say Grizzlies in 5 or 6. The 3-6 matchup, I think, is the most interesting matchup right now in the West. And the 4-5 is really good too, so we'll talk about it in a second, obviously. But the 3-6 is really interesting because you got Golden State versus Sacramento. Sacramento is a historically good, all-time historically good offense this year. They are below average defensively. Golden State can play at a historic offensive level, and they are average to above average defensively if Gary Payton and Andrew Wiggins are ready to go. Andrew Wiggins is going to be playing. He is back. By all accounts, he's ready to play. It's not like he missed the whole season. He missed the last 20 games or so. Yeah, KU, I know. You weren't doing that when we were talking about Embiid, though, funny enough. So, I said the moment Andrew Wiggins came back, the West needs to be scared about Golden State. Because they're basically the exact same team now that they were last year when they won the finals in 6 against Boston. I think Steph, I've said it before, I like him as the all-time best point guard now over Magic, and you're splitting hairs when you do that, and I'm not going to be mad if you hate me for it. That's just my take.
All I know is Steph is probably the best shooter of all time.
That's not a question. That's not a probably maybe. That's a definitive best shooter of all time. What you could say probably maybe is his running mate, Splash Bro 2, Klay Thompson, is the second best shooter of all time. And Klay is back to playing as Klay. I didn't know if he'd ever be able to get back to this level, but he has. He went for the first time in his career over 300 threes this year. He's only the third player to do that. Curry's done it twice. James Harden has done it once. Now Klay Thompson is the third. Klay Thompson is playing at an elite level again. Andrew Wiggins coming back. Klay Thompson and Andrew Wiggins being able to play the perimeter defensively is underrated. Draymond is still there, who's a above-average defender. Gary Payton is an above-average defender. Kuminga has been playing exceptionally well this year and taking that next step in his development. Golden State is dangerous. And I do think they beat the Kings in 6, probably 7. I think it's going to be a really good series, but I do like Golden State to upset the Kings. The Kings are really good. I'm a huge De'Aaron Fox fan. Huge De'Aaron Fox fan. I said a lot of people missed when they passed on him in the draft. Domantas Sabonis, cold. Real dangerous. He is a Jokic Jr. right now, on his way to being on the same level as Jokic, the way he plays the game. Keegan Murray set the all-time record for threes by a rookie. Dangerous from the outside, and he can play all over the court. The Kings are up and coming. Do not get it twisted. But I am not betting against Golden State and what they are and what they've accomplished. So I got Golden State in 6 or 7. So I think that's going to be that will be the most fun series to watch in the entire playoffs for the first round.
Here's where I think the experience of the Warriors really helps them in this series. They've been there before. A lot. They've been there a lot. So,
there's always this talk of, can a team that's a championship team flip the switch when they need to? I will tell you right now, the Warriors can flip that switch whenever they want to. They know how, and they will do it. Cody, I know you're living up in that Northern California area now. I just don't see it happen, man. I don't see it happen. That's a raucous crowd up there, though. That's a home court for sure. So it's, like I said, 6 or 7. That would not surprise me at all. But I'm going to tell you right now, watch out for this. If Golden State wins one of those first 2 games on the road, Golden State takes that series. The Kings are going to have to win both of those home games. And I think they're counting on that right now because Golden State was like 11-30 on the road this year. Just atrocious. Absolutely atrocious on the road this year. But they're full strength now. And like I said, that championship DNA, they are one of the few teams that I truly believe can flip that switch on and off whenever they want to. And they're ready to flip it on. So I think they get one of those first 2 games on the road, and I think that ends up being the difference. They'll go back and win both in Golden State, and then we'll flop back and forth. They'll win at home on the road in Game 6. That's kind of my take on that. The 4-5 matchup is extremely interesting as well out west because you got the Clippers and the Suns. Check this stat out, Pinky. You'll love this. KD, Devin Booker, and Chris Paul have played more games together already, with KD missing 3 weeks since he got traded, than Kyrie, KD, and James Harden ever did in Brooklyn. How about that? So the Suns, I mean, let's be honest. They're starting 5, and really it's a starting 4 with whoever else they want to fill that 5th spot with Paul, Booker, KD, and Ayton is dangerous. It's very dangerous. And those guys can each play 35 minutes. You don't have to rely on your bench that much. and you're good. The problem is you're going to have to rely on your bench a little bit, and they don't have a bench. The Suns have nothing on the bench. Payne has just not been the same. He's been okay, but he never really seemed to take that next step like a Jordan Poole did for the Golden State Warriors. And they don't really have anything else because they traded it away to get KD. So they're going to have to rely on their starters, which isn't necessarily bad because Booker and KD could easily go for 40 apiece, and you fill in the pieces after that. The Clippers are deep. Westbrook's
they're going to be without Paul George for at least the first two or
thank you, Pinky. Thank you, and that's where I was going with this. Is because without Paul George, it makes it a series. I think if Paul George is there, I'm picking the Clippers, and it's not a hesitation. But because Paul George isn't going to be there, Kawhi's going to have to show out. Russell Westbrook's going to have to play at an elite level, which he's capable of. And he's been playing well with the Clippers. He has been. There's no denying that. He's fitting well there. He feels loved. The guys seem to like him, and they want him to play the way he plays. So you can't hate on Westbrook when he's playing with the Clippers. You've got, a couple other guys on that team that fill out their bench really nicely, and they're in a decent position. But without PG, I would pick the Suns. I will. Now, if PG could come back, let's say by game 3, it'll make it a 7-game series. And then it's a coin flip for me. If PG was playing from the start of the series, I would pick the Clippers in 6. Because the Suns have nothing after they're starting. They just don't. And PG and Kawhi, they're two of the best defenders in the league. Especially on the perimeter. They're probably the 2 best perimeter defenders in the league. So you put them on KD and Booker, and you're not going to shut those guys down, but you slow them down. That's a huge get, and they don't have that right now. So it all depends on when PG can come back. If he can come back by game 3, I think they can make it a 7-game series. If he's out past game 3, Suns roll, and we're moving right along.
Yeah, I can't even argue with you.
Cheers, my man. So that's the East and the West. First round. We'll talk once the second round rolls around, and we'll discuss that in more depth as that comes. But with that being said, Pinky, who you got coming out of the East?
It's just the Bucks for me. If they play the Celtics or the Sixers, 6 or 7 game series, but I still think the Bucks are the best team in the East.
Okay. I like that. I like that a lot. I have gone back and forth on this a lot. I said last year the Celtics don't make it to the finals if Chris Middleton is healthy and playing. The Bucks win that series, and they're in the finals. Chris Middleton isn't playing this year either, it looks like. I'm going to say for now, I'm basing this off no Chris Middleton playing. I am going to take the Bucks with you, though. Giannis, like I said, is having a historical year. Their bench, their role players have stepped up in the absence of Chris Middleton this year and played well. Bobby Portis is playing great. I'm not a big Grayson Allen fan, but he has been playing well this year. Brook Lopez has been playing well. They've got the pieces, I think, to go ahead and get past everybody in the East. And I am a huge, huge Drew Holiday guy. I was angry a couple years back when the Nuggets did not swoop him up.
Chris Middleton will be back at practice Thursday.
Back at practice and playing are 2 very different things with the knee injury he has.
Hey, when you're back at practice, at least you're getting close.
Not necessarily. There was talk that he was going to need surgery on that knee and he was going to be out. So it's still very much up in the air if that knee is going to be able to hold out regardless if he's back at practice or not. If they can get 75% from Chris Middleton, that's just enough to definitely tip the scales in their favor. No Chris Middleton, it's going to be a tough road, but I do like the Bucks with you. I'm there. I like the Bucks. We'll move on. Huge Drew Holiday fan, though. Huge Drew Holiday fan. That dude is underrated. He is right there with PG and Kawhi as one of the best perimeter players defensively in the league, and he can ball on the offensive side. Just had a 50-point game a couple weeks ago. So they've got what they need. I like the Bucks. Out west, Pinky. Who you got coming out of the West? Yeah, exactly. If you know us, you know what we want to say. And the fact that we're having problems saying it is a direct relation to the way the Nuggets have finished this season and the fact that the coach refuses to take responsibility for the way this has gone. I'm not happy with Mike Malone right now.
So I will say, I do believe if he continues giving the last 3 weeks, they've given Christian Braun a lot of minutes.
Yep.
And they've started giving Peyton Watson, who's also another rookie that can play some defense. He's been getting a lot of minutes as well.
That's how you get on the court as a young player. You want to get on the court as a young player, you play that defensive side of the ball. If that continues, I still think the Nuggets can beat any team in the West. I really do. And again, at least in the last 3 weeks, Michael Porter has started to kind of like get his groove back. Jamal's had his groove. They've relied. Joker hasn't played or hasn't been the focal point of most of the last 3 or 4 weeks. So, like, again, he can put it on when he needs to. The idea behind him is like you don't need him to like be the main guy. You just have him continue being who he is. The West is so like I could see almost any team in the West making it. I really could. I still think odds are Denver should be there. I'm 60% confident, which isn't a lot of confidence, but not unfortunately. This is what I'll say. If PG comes back in time and the Clippers win and they somehow get to the Western Conference Finals, I like the Nugs in that matchup. We've had the Clippers number. They do not worry me. I like the Nugs in that matchup. If it's Sacramento somehow, which I already predicted it won't, but if it's Sacramento somehow, I like that matchup for the Nugs as well. If the Lakers somehow find a way to move forward and beat the Grizz, I'm a little concerned with that matchup, but I do like the Nuggets a little bit. I think we beat the Grizz. Not worried about the Grizz. The one team, and people can say what they want, but the one team that I would be nervous as hell about, and I would call it a coin flip, would be the Golden State Warriors.
Right.
So right. I like the Nugs to come out of the West.
Although for most of the season they played the Warriors really well this year.
They have, but again, the Warriors don't give a shit about the regular season. I think they proved that this year. They will be ready come playoff time, like I just talked about. And the fact that Andrew Wiggins is back is a huge deal. It is a huge deal. So I will say the Nugs against anybody but the Golden State Warriors, and then it's a coin flip for me. And I hate saying that because I don't like being indecisive. But the matchup is good for both teams. The Nugs would have home court advantage, so they would get a play in the altitude and play their brand of ball. They did bring in Aaron Gordon and Bruce Bowen. Bruce Bowen. Oh, my God. Specifically for the defensive side, along with Contavious Caldwell-Pope, for a matchup just like that. So I will give a 51-49 slight edge to the Nuggets to represent the West. I don't feel great about this, and I wish I did. I wish the Nuggets had finished the season off more on a strong note. They hadn't played so poorly. I do not like Mike Malone at this point. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Mark it down. I believe Mike Malone is the Nuggets version of Mark Jackson with the Golden State Warriors. At this point in time, that's what I believe he is. He helped create a really great team but he's not the guy that's going to get them over the edge. And I so hope I'm wrong with that, because if he can get them to the finals, I will take it all back. But they got to get to the finals. So we'll see. So I'm giving the Nugs like a 51% chance to get out of the West. Pinky's got them at 60. I'll say about 51. And that's just because of the way they ended the season. They didn't leave a lot of confidence, unfortunately. So that's where we sit right now. We're looking at Nugs, Bucks. Pinky and I are actually in accordance with that. Cheers, my man. Late cheers, but I'll take it.
Ooh. All right, buddy. Little NFL talk, I guess.
Let's do it. Give me just a second. You start it off. I'll be right here.
Well, this is an easy topic, and I think we both agree on this. OBJ got signed by the Ravens. That nothing smells like desperation more than overpaying a guy that I don't know if he helps your team. Like, I don't
get it. Nothing about that. So you said something that I love, because I came to you as soon as it happened. I said, dude, nothing about this makes sense for either side. And you said it makes sense for Odell. He got $18 million. Yeah. In that regard, it makes sense because they paid him. But as far as offensively, he's not a number one. So you're counting on Andrews to be Andrews, which he will be, and you're counting on Bateman to be healthy and be a number one, which Bateman has the talent to be a number one, but he hasn't been on the field either, and he's been known for injury history from college to the pros. OBJ is not a number one anymore. Now, the saving grace here is the fact that they do have a new offensive coordinator in Mulkin. So it's not Greg Roman running that trash offense anymore. Mulkin does run a nice pro-style offense. He does like to throw the ball downfield.
Monken.
I'm all over the place tonight, all right? This is a long day. Leave me alone.
I mean, you were throwing an L in there. The L makes all the difference.
Monken, my bad. So it'll be interesting to see. He's got NFL experience on the offensive side of the ball. It's not like he's just coming from college to the pros. It's going to be interesting to see what he runs. I personally, and maybe I'm just crazy, but just seeing OBJ and Lamar Snapchatting themselves together or FaceTiming or whatever the hell they were doing, that doesn't move the needle for me at all. I still don't think this is a move that says Lamar is definitely coming back to Baltimore all of a sudden.
Lamar is playing for Baltimore next season. Period. He's going to accept the $33 million that he's going to get paid. He has to. He cannot sit out the entire year. He just can't. He just can't do it. Because if he does, they still own his rights next year, and they can still do the same thing to him next year.
I know, he's not sitting out. And we both agree, Lamar played his hand terribly. He just did. Unfortunately, Lamar has zero leverage.
Now, I will agree, the Ravens had to overpay somebody to come play wide receiver for the Ravens. I get it. And OBJ will probably be awesome for the 6 games he plays. But like, you're not going to get a whole lot of a guy who's blown his ACL twice has done enough he had like 3 good games with the Browns. He started looking a little bit he looked really good with the Rams at points because they put him in good positions. Because it
helps when you have Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, you had Cooper Kupp drawing numbers. So I just don't. Again, it made sense for Odell. You're going to give me $15 million. Nobody else is giving me that money. Period. Nobody.
Absolutely.
So
I'm actually really surprised he's not going to the Jets. I am I am super surprised he didn't end up on the Jets.
The Jets had already told him, like, this is probably what we're offering. And he was like, well, the Ravens are giving me $15 million, plus I can get 18 with incentives.
And they were like, all right, see ya, for sure. But to me, if he really wanted to show he could still ball out and then get one more decently sized contract, you would have gone to the Jets. That's my thought. But, whatever.
Again, he has a Super Bowl ring, right? Like,
play on one-year deals for the rest of your career if you have to, I guess.
I don't think he cares about winning. I don't.
Well, let's be honest, though. If Lamar's back with the weapons they have, Baltimore is an AFC contender. Oh, hell yeah, they are. Now, Lamar has to play the whole season, but they are definitely an AFC contender.
Maybe. I don't know. They don't win the division. The Bengals are winning that division.
Nope, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that at all. If the Ravens are healthy, which, again, that's a stupid if. That's how we always judge this. Ravens are just as good as the Bengals.
I'll take the Bengals every day, all day. Ravens completely healthy. I'll still take the Bengals to win that division.
No way. No way, sir.
Absolutely.
I will not do that. That's a coin flip for me.
That's not even a coin flip. That's like an 80-20 proposition.
No, hell no. Pinky, no.
Like some shit had to go really bad to so no.
It's not very often that people agree with me, guys, so Pinky's a little confused right now.
I'm sorry. The Bengals have like the way better quarterback, so they're
way better. No. You are going to see this year in that Monken offense that Lamar can throw the ball. He's going to prove to people this year he can throw the ball.
I'm not going to see shit because he still only has Odell for 6 games, Bateman if he plays, and he's got Mark Andrews. It's really not going to be any different. Sorry, bro.
You're going to be surprised.
And then he still has to worry about his running back staying healthy, which they can't do. So
Dobbins is going to be fine. He'll play the whole season. It was a freak injury. No issues. Move along. They definitely have the better offensive line, the Ravens. They've got the better running back, in my opinion. If Dobbins is healthy, which he is, I think Dobbins is better than Mixon.
I'll take way more explosive. I'll take the Bengals O-line over the Ravens right now. Right now. With Orlando Brown.
Well, they did just sign Orlando Brown.
And La'el Collins, who got hurt before the playoffs. I will take the Bengals O-line right now.
Wait, you're talking about Cowboy cast-off offensive lineman?
Second half of the season before he get hurt, he was playing well. That O-line played
before
well.
He got what? Why did he get cast off?
He got cast off.
Because he can't stay healthy.
They can't pay anybody. No, they can't pay anybody.
No. He can't stay healthy.
He was healthy with the Cowboys. He got hurt before the playoffs playing with the Bengals.
Fine.
He was healthy with the Cowboys, though.
Let's say, for argument's sake, it's a toss-up at running back. It's a toss-up at offensive line. Bengals have the better receivers. Ravens have the better tight end. If you want, I'll give you a slight edge to Joe Burrow. Slight. But I don't even agree with that. But I'll give you a slight edge to Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow is a gigantic better quarterback.
Hell no. No, he's not.
Absolutely.
Joe Burrow doesn't have an MVP.
He will.
No. Lamar is crazy dangerous.
Hey, Lamar doesn't have a Super Bowl either, right? He hasn't even made it, right? He hasn't got to the
Burrow doesn't have a Super Bowl either. Burrow doesn't have a Super Bowl either. He lost. He lost, and he got smoked in it at that.
Hey, hold on. He did not get smoked. His defense gave up a touchdown to win the game. So
I think Aaron Donald put him on his ass when he had an opportunity to win the game.
Bengals were winning that game until the Rams got a fourth quarter touchdown.
Ravens have the better defense. So in that sense, that right there, all of those categories going, that right there makes it a toss-up.
I don't know if they do, man.
Oh, Pinky, come on, man. Come on. Come on.
They're two different style of QBs. I'll take Joe Burrow every day and twice on Sunday.
Period. Cody, you know as well as I do, Pinky hates a quarterback who he thinks is a running back.
Hey, hold on. I don't hate it, but like I said, until Jalen Hurts got to the Super Bowl and had a chance to win it this year, he was the closest a running quarterback has ever had to winning a Super Bowl.
He's not a running quarterback. Just because a quarterback can run does not mean he's a running quarterback.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. He had half as many rushing touchdowns as he had throwing touchdowns.
Pinky, when the offense is built in that regard, what do you expect them to do? Not take advantage of their legs?
Hey, that's not my fucking fault. He scored as many rushing touchdowns, half as many rushing touchdowns as he had throwing touchdowns.
Did Jalen Hurts prove this year he can throw the ball? He
was awesome.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
Hold on. I'm not downplaying Jalen Hurts. He had an awesome season. He threw the ball really well. He's got a lot of great weapons. But to this day, even now, no running quarterback who does run/score a lot of points running the football has won the Super Bowl yet. Period. You can't argue that. It's a fucking fact.
This whole running quarterback thing is a joke. I don't understand it.
Again, Hurts has gotten so much better than what he was. And I wouldn't.
Yeah, because he finally got weapons to throw the ball to.
I wouldn't label him as a primarily running quarterback. But a lot of that offense was absolutely predicated on him running the football.
Why would you not? Why would you not take advantage of that weapon if nobody else can do it and defend it?
And to this day, no team that has a quarterback that runs the football that much. That kid was running 11 times a game. No team with a running quarterback has won the Super Bowl. Period. End of story.
It's going to change soon, Pinky. Your mind is going to blow this year when Justin Fields actually throws the football. What are you going to say then? Like, this whole running quarterback notion is just going to blow up in your face.
That's not going to happen, bro.
It's going to happen. If that offense is smart enough, it'll happen.
It's not going to happen because they can't protect him to give him time to throw the ball.
They better use their draft picks smartly. That's all I'll say about that situation. We don't need to go down that rabbit hole yet. We got the draft coming up, and we'll talk about it. But a little off topic here. We're getting a little off topic. But, yes, this running quarterback thing, look, Lamar still doesn't have any weapons. Let's be honest. The only weapon he has right now is Mark Andrews for sure. You just said Odell's maybe there for 6 games. Bateman, who knows what's going to happen. Lamar still doesn't have the weapons that Hurts, Allen, Mahomes, Tua.
Those weapons.
Caleb, I'm in full agreement that we do not know what Lamar is capable of based on the shitty offense and the shitty weapons they put around him. Which is why, as an NFL owner, I could not be comfortable giving him the money he's asking for him to do things I haven't seen him do. Doesn't mean he can't do it. I just haven't seen him do it, which may not be no fault of his, but you don't want to gamble, right?
Eagles gambled with Hurts.
But they didn't because they have him on a rookie deal. They didn't have to give him $200 million.
Okay, I'll give you that. Right? I will give you that. That's a good point.
The Bears gambling on Justin Fields, nothing wrong with it. I've got this guy. I've seen he can throw the ball some. He's absolutely a great runner of the football. We saw that. He's a top 10 running back. For them to try to build around him and see if he could grow into a guy who could throw the football makes complete sense. If he was due $200 million right now at his point in his career, I guarantee you everybody would be like, nah, I'm good. And that's where Lamar is at. Everybody's like, you might be able to do that. But you know what? I'm not willing to take that risk that you can. I'm good.
I personally, I see where you're coming from. I won't argue against it because there's truth there for sure. But I think it's more to do with the fact that the Ravens have completely diminished his market behind the scenes more so than it's what Lamar put on tape.
Cody, I got to argue with you here just a little bit. I bet on him a lot of times on his rushing attempts. He was averaging 11 attempts rushing a game. So his rushing TDs may have been QB sneaks, but he was rushing the ball at least 11 times a game. So they were giving him the ball in his hands to run the ball quite a bit, which to me is still a running quarterback. I still think very high. Hurts' accuracy got a lot better. Could be the work he put in the offseason. Could be that he got A.J. Brown. I don't know, but it worked out.
When are you going to start using the term dual threat instead of running quarterback? It's such a slight to these guys who have weapons that it's like you expect them not to use it because they're a quarterback. You're a quarterback, so you shouldn't be running the ball even though you're really good at it and can help your team win.
So
don't use that weapon because you're a running quarterback.
Okay, well let's put this in context in the way that I think about it. The guys that run the ball in order to help being successful, Josh Allen, Justin Fields, Jalen Hurts, you can't do it all the time because all you're going to do is you're allowing yourself to get that much closer to an injury.
Okay, but hold up.
Period.
Nobody is calling Josh Allen a running quarterback. Nobody.
I would. When they are down and they need something, he is running the football.
All right, Pinky.
Period.
I'm going to give you a lot of credit right now. A lot of credit. Mad props for you being willing to stand on that island and call Josh Allen a running quarterback.
I love Josh Allen, but
I know
watch
you
the
do.
games.
I know
watch
you
the games. I have a Josh Allen jersey.
I know.
Watch the games.
I know. That's why you just
When
kind of blew my mind a little bit calling him a running quarterback.
When they are down, he will run the football. Which, again, he does what it takes, but you're also opening yourself up to those possible injuries from running the football. When I see him running the football, I cringe. I don't need to do that.
Yeah, but he's almost looking for contact where Lamar, let's be honest, Lamar has this innate ability to avoid the big hit. His injuries haven't come because he's got lit up.
Again, Lamar can do that. Jalen Hurts can do that. Fields can do that because they're better athletes. They're faster. But, again, if you, as a quarterback, run the football, you are opening yourself up to those injuries.
Here's where I need to hear this from you, and then this might cause me to never bring this up again with you because you're consistent, and I can appreciate that 1,000%. You know how I am. You classify Steve Young as a running quarterback?
In his early days, absolutely.
No,
absolutely.
I'm not talking about early days. I'm talking about by the end of his career because he still ran the ball a whole lot.
No.
But the West Coast offense didn't have them designing plays to use his legs.
Once he figured out how to run the offense, he threw the ball more than ran it. In his early days, he was absolutely a running quarterback. He's that guy that you're looking at like, ooh, he can run, plus he can throw. He is the dual threat. He was like the epitome after Randall Cunningham. Randall Cunningham was that first guy, I think. That was like truly that dual threat. And then there was Steve Young. But then Steve Young figured out how to play quarterback, and he was one of the most accurate quarterbacks of all time that he didn't, in his second half of his career, he didn't have to run. He still could run, but he could play in the pocket and play within the offense.
So what you're telling me is we could still see an Allen, a Hurts, a Lamar, a Justin Fields, so on and so forth. You're saying those guys are still young enough where they're not in that position to where they've truly learned how to play the position to where they're taking advantage of the offense in the passing game and using their legs when needed. They're just not there yet is what you're saying.
So as a Josh Allen lover, I love that guy. When things are going well, he doesn't run the football. When things are going bad and you need first downs, that dude runs the football. And he runs it with careless abandon.
He does.
Which is fine when you're 25. When you're 30, that shit doesn't work, bro. Because when you get that one little nagging injury,
it got John Elway a Super Bowl.
John Elway wasn't running the football at 37 and 38, okay? He didn't have to get Terrell Davis.
The helicopter is like his most famous play in history.
That was the slowest run of his whole entire career, okay?
I couldn't help myself. All right, fair. I'll give you that.
Again, I think it is going to happen that a dual threat quarterback, as you mentioned, will win the Super Bowl. It's going to happen. It's hard to defend. When a quarterback can sit back and beat you in the pocket, but then also run for first downs. Now, Mahomes has done a lot of running in his career because their offensive line hasn't been great.
Yeah, but I will agree with you in the sense that he's a scrambling quarterback. He's an improvisational quarterback. He's not a running quarterback.
He's truly, if you really want to narrow it down, he's John Elway 2.0. If you watch a lot of John Elway's old plays, he's running backwards, spinning, finding like ability to throw it downfield. That's Mahomes. Now, that wasn't Mahomes last year because he had time to throw, or he would just throw it to the open guy, right? So he's just starting to evolve his game. But again, Allen, Hurts, they still Hurts ran the ball almost 11 times a game. You don't call that a running quarterback?
No, I don't. Because to me, it's a weapon that you should be using if you have the ability to do it.
If my quarterback's running more than, again,
you know who I'll call a running quarterback? And I'll have no hesitation saying it. And I don't know if this will surprise you or not, or maybe you just are blown away that you think I'm being honest when you weren't expecting it. Tommy Frazier was a running quarterback. That was a dude who was a running quarterback because he really wasn't known for throwing the ball, and he wasn't actually that great at it.
As a quarterback, if you're averaging more than 8 runs a game, you're a running quarterback.
Nope. Won't say it. Nope. You'll never get me to agree to that. If you're throwing the ball more than you're running the ball, you are a quarterback. You just have the ability to do things that other quarterbacks can't, and you should take advantage of it.
Quarterback's job is to throw the ball downfield, period.
And if your offensive play calls or your personnel does not allow you to do so, why would you sit in the pocket and get reamed instead of just running for your life?
Yeah, I'm not for it. Again, a running quarterback can be successful. A running quarterback can win football games.
Like Pinky, Justin Fields was not known as being a runner coming out of college. That was not anybody thought was in his repertoire. But you put him behind the worst offensive line in the league and no wide receivers to throw the ball to, all of a sudden he runs because it's his only option.
And he was a top 10 running back. It was awesome.
Damn it. Pinky. I just son of a.
And he was so close to breaking my. If he would have started running from the get-go this year, he would have broken Michael Vick's record without a doubt.
All right. We will. This topic will come up again in the offseason. People, stick with us because this is not a new topic for us. We go back and forth on this continuously.
Okay.
We went way down the rabbit hole on this one.
We did. All right. A little bit of NFL draft talk.
Okay.
I'm excited. Now, as a Broncos fan, I'm not excited because we only have 5 picks.
Hey, wait. Let me go back here for a second because I want whatever our guy Clayton's on right now. I want that good that you're on right now, Clayton, because there's no way in hell that shit's happening. There's no way in hell that shit's happening. No way in hell.
Well, okay. Hold on.
Let's be realistic about the situation.
Okay.
10 to 13 wins. 10 will be a lucky crapshoot.
Hold on.
4,000 plus yards and 30 TDs from Russ? Hell no.
Okay. Hold on. His career average is 4,030 touchdowns. So our man Clayton's not crazy. Now, when it comes to the 10 to 13 wins, the Broncos did lose 8 games by 1 score or less. If you flip those, they won 10 games last year. Now, again, and anything can happen in a season. Sure. Coaching does matter.
Absolutely.
I do think Clayton is closer to right on 10 wins than he is closer on 4,030 touchdowns.
I'll give 10. 10's like the ceiling for the Broncos. And maybe sneaking in as a wild card. 10 is a ceiling. 4,030, you got to be out your goddamn mind.
I don't think it's crazy in the Sean Payton offense. I don't.
Yes, it is. Did you watch what he did last year? Russ is not Russ anymore.
Hold on.
Russ is not 4 years ago Russ averaging 4,030. That's not who he is anymore.
Hold on.
You'd be lucky to get 35 and 25.
Okay. And this is glass half full pinky. Absolutely. I don't know how many people would be the only quarterback that would have been awesome last year in that offense with Nathaniel Hackett running the team would have been Aaron Rodgers. Period. The stories coming out of Denver about Nathaniel Hackett and the way he ran the team last year, I don't know if anybody's going to be successful in that team.
Put that on the GM.
And again,
put that on the trash GM for allowing the quarterback to have an office. Like, come on.
Again, at the end of the day, they lost 8 games by less than 1 score. So that tells me there was enough talent and enough there. A competent coach could have won 4 of those games.
I think Nathaniel Hackett is he is the scapegoat. I don't think he's great. I'm not trying to say he's great by any means. But when you tie a head coach's hands behind his back and tell him he has to do what the quarterback wants, and the quarterback can't even do what the quarterback wants to do, you're going to fail. Period. If Aaron Rodgers won 2 MVPs back-to-back in a Nathaniel Hackett offense, and yes, I know it was under LaFleur, and LaFleur has a lot to do with that, but it's still the same offense, and Russell Wilson can't run that offense, there's a problem.
But you're forgetting every day of the week and twice on Sundays, you'd still say Aaron Rodgers is a far superior quarterback to Russell Wilson.
That's why I wanted Aaron Rodgers over Russell Wilson. Absolutely.
Absolutely. We all did. We all would have taken that.
That's not true.
Most of us would have taken that deal of Aaron Rodgers. We all would have taken that deal. And the Packers are really like, damn it, we should have traded him last season. We shouldn't have given him a contract extension and kept him versus trading him last season. They should have ripped the Band-Aid off. But I just don't know. You saw it game 1. Game 1, you said we should have fired Hackett, which is absolute of saying Hackett is not the kind of guy that could coach this team. So you were right from day 1. Is Russell Wilson 4,030 yards under a different coach? Maybe not. But he definitely wasn't going to do that under Nathaniel Hackett, who couldn't adjust a game plan to save his life, period. Like his halftime adjustments were like I try to watch the game also from a mental standpoint. We came out after halftime. We had the ball a majority of the games after halftime. Do you know what we did after halftime? Majority of the games?
Not good.
Punting. We punted.
I know. Like you just said, I said after watching game 1 in the play calls, Hackett's not the dude. So I said Hackett wasn't the dude when we hired him. I continued down that road. It didn't change.
Look at this. Look at this guy from Twitch. Yes, absolutely. Aaron Rodgers is a greatest of all time. I give Aaron Rodgers a little bit of grace that he's never had like a complete team around him for the most part. But I will say there's something about Aaron Rodgers because he throws a great Hail Mary. But for the most part, he doesn't have that like great like comeback gene. He doesn't have that like cool Joe Montana.
As much as I love Aaron, I will admit that he has underperformed in his playoff career for the most part. I don't like saying it, but I will say that. Flohosen, buddy, we appreciate you. Stick with us, and we'll do our best to take you from a noob to an amateur.
Now,
we'll do our best to help you learn.
What I do say about Aaron Rodgers, he's not had the best coaching overall. Like Mike McCarthy was a joke. I still think Mike McCarthy's a joke.
Yes. He also hasn't had great weapons other than Devontae Adams. Aaron Jones is great, but for whatever reason, they don't use him. The defense has always been subpar.
Bro, I will say,
go down the list.
If you stick him on Cincinnati right now, they've got rings upon rings.
Stick him on the Jets right now. It's going to get real interesting real quick.
I think they're a contender with him. I do.
Back to the Broncos real fast. Back to the Broncos real fast. You're right. I said I didn't like the Hackett hire to begin with. I also am not a big fan of Peyton as the GM. I don't think he's made a lot of great moves. I think he's getting credit for stuff that he shouldn't be getting credit for. I think the only reason he's still the GM with the new ownership is because he got a 6-year deal and they don't want to pay it off right now.
Bro, they don't give a shit about that.
Well, yes, we know the Walmart money don't give a shit anymore. They're giving him a little bit of a leash. I'll say that. I think we should have gone after Rodgers. I don't think Hackett was the guy, so on and so forth. This year, I do believe we see Jarrett Stidham starting by the end of the season. I truly believe Sean Payton brought him in for a very specific reason, and it's not to back up Russ the whole time. I think he's going to be waiting for his moment to where he can, without a lot of backlash, move on from Russ, and then Russ will be gone at the end of the season. I do not see Russell Wilson being a Denver Bronco after this year.
I totally disagree with that. Because I just think the way that Sean Payton's going to help improve everything about the team, they're not going to lose football games like they did last season. They're going to play better football. Russ is going to play well enough that the only way Stidham plays is if Russ gets hurt. That's it. And if Russ doesn't get sacked 55 times like he did last season, which
I don't want to hear that shit.
Hold on.
He gets sacked because of the way he plays.
I was going to get there, Caleb.
Okay, my bad. Go.
There was a portion of his sacks that absolutely were on him. Absolutely. But there was a good portion. If you and we watched him because we watch all the Broncos games. He didn't have he barely got the ball and didn't have a chance, bro. Like his center sucked, his left tackle sucked, his right tackle sucked. The whole squad sucked, and most of them were injured. The only guy, no player on the offensive line played the whole season. The two guys that played a majority of the season was Dalton Reisner and Quentin Miners. But the right tackles were both fill-ins, and it was literally most games he had literally pressure right away. Now, again, when you talk about Lamar, when you talk about like giving him the opportunity, if you've got a quarterback with a shitty offensive scheme that hasn't drawn up anything that he can do well, and you're asking him to do things he can't really do, and then you give him no protection where he's got to make quick decisions, probably going to fail. Like, I don't care. Like, there's only a couple guys in the league, and I don't think Russ has ever been that guy. There's only a couple guys in the league where you give them zero protection, they're going to be successful.
So this is why I think Russ doesn't make it the whole season. Is Russ known for actually running an offense? Is that a strength of his, actually running the offense the way it's called? Or does he like to improvise and try to extend plays consistently?
That is a tough conversation. In Seattle, his offensive line when he was young was really bad. He had to improvise.
Okay, but what's he been known for throughout his career? More of the improvisation than running an offense, right? What's Sean Payton want from his quarterback? To run an offense. Russ doesn't have the skill anymore to improvise. It's gone. He lost a step. He proved it last year. He lost a step. If you can't see that, I'm sorry. Go back and watch. Russ has lost a step.
No, absolutely. He's not as fast as he was. That's without a question.
With all that being said, I'm not saying Russ is going to play like trash, but I believe he is going to play in such a way that it's going to leave a window open to where Peyton can come in and say, look, Stidham can come in here and run the offense. He can throw it to the receivers and the weapons we have when Russ isn't. And it's going to leave a window open, and Peyton's going to take advantage of that open window. That's what I see happening. I truly believe it.
I think
if I'm wrong, hey, it'll just be another Caleb coming on and saying, I'm going to eat some crow and I was wrong.
Russ would have to play really bad for that to happen. Under Peyton, I just feel like Peyton's going to do the things that Russ does well. I just don't think he's going to be like,
Russ.
Russ.
He do well now, though. He does things okay now. I don't think he does anything well. Throws a great deep ball. That's it. Like, he's no Drew Brees. He's not going to get the ball out quick and hit the guys on their routes.
His accuracy is never going to be on Drew Brees' level. That's absolutely true. Absolutely true.
And if he can't really improvise that much anymore, the way he used to.
Again, we've never seen Russ protected. We've never seen him with an O-line that he doesn't have to move left, right, or run the ball within 2 seconds ever. He's never had that. If he can have that by the players we've gained or by the scheming, who knows? I don't know. I don't know if he's going to throw 4,030 touchdowns. That'd be awesome if he did. Is he going to throw 3,525 under Peyton? I could see that.
Look, you know as well as anybody, I love the Broncos. I hope I'm wrong. But you also tell me I am a Debbie Downer with the Broncos lately. I am a glass half empty, not half full. I'm just trying to be realistic with what I've seen. And I have not seen anything that makes me excited or optimistic about what's to come other than the fact that we have a great head coach now. Shit, our star running back may not even play until November because it doesn't sound like his rehab is going great because his injury was worse than they had originally anticipated. Russ didn't seem to have any chemistry with the great receivers I believe we have, except for Judy late in the season all of a sudden. Like, there hasn't been anything to make me optimistic other than Sean Payton's here.
Now, again,
Clayton,
previous coaching,
I've eaten a lot of crow. I'm not a big fan of it, but I've eaten it, and I'm more than happy to admit it.
He will eat it, and he eats it with a smile. I will give him that. The one thing you haven't seen, though, Nathaniel Hackett didn't do anything offensively to help our wide receivers, our quarterback, our O-line, our running game at all.
Nope, he did not. He did not.
So it's almost like we just don't know, right? Russ could be great. He could be bad. We don't know.
I still, and I'll go back to this time and time again, Pinky, and you know it and you don't like it, but if Russ could still play at an elite level, Pete Carroll and Snyder and the Seahawks are not letting him walk. They're not, especially not for what they got back. Well, it wasn't. But we thought Denver stole him, and now it's looking like, damn, they knew something. They knew something.
Besides last season, if they had drafted well the previous 5 years, that wouldn't have even been an issue. But their drafts the last 5 seasons were so epically bad. Look it up.
I know. We talked about it. They did not draft well at all. But they weren't. I mean, Geno Smith was playing behind basically the same offensive line as Russ was.
Last season, they had their best draft since 2012.
I know.
That's a decade.
But Pinky, the problem is I don't trust our GM, and even if I did, we don't have picks to improve anything around Russ. We are what we are. There's nothing else coming.
Which is why we spent so money in free agency.
Thank God we got that Walmart money now. Thank God.
We brought in like 10 different players to help try to improve.
And I'll say it again. I think the only reason those free agents came here was because of the head coach. Had nothing to do with the GM being smart. And we had to overpay to get him here in the first place.
A couple guys we overpaid, sure. Again, it's not our money, so what do we care, right?
Oh, I'm all for it. I love the Walmart money. Keep doing it every year. Bring it. Let's go. Let's just make better decisions with who we're paying the money to. That's all.
Look, optimistic as I am, I just think a better coach wins those one-score games that we might have won last season than what we did.
I'll absolutely agree with you. I will fully agree with you. No. Hack was not the man, but I still think Russ isn't getting enough of the blame.
He's getting quite a bit of the blame. It is a thing to just go out and talk shit about Russell Wilson on Twitter.
I know.
Anytime you can.
This idea that Sean Payton is going to magically fix Russell Wilson, I just don't see it. I don't see him getting back to MVP caliber form.
He's never got an MVP vote, so I don't think he's ever been MVP.
You know what I mean. I think Russell Wilson's a lot closer to Jimmy G than he is top 10 in the league.
Maybe. Yeah. At the end of the day, they're better now than they were last year. At least that's a fact.
That we can agree on.
Does that mean they win 10 games? I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it's absolutely put up or shut up. Russ has no excuses. And Sean Payton has the cachet that if Russ doesn't play well, they will eat that salary and they will draft a QB. Period.
Or they'll just go out and pay money for another one.
Yeah, we've got Walmart money. We will get a quarterback.
Yeah, I said this to you today, and I know you don't like the idea, but I think it's completely worth it. Given the fact that you probably won't have to give up anything, and he can learn under Sean Payton for a year and not have to play. If Tennessee goes after a quarterback, I'm on the phone immediately asking for Malik Willis for a 5th or a 6th. And I will let him sit on the bench and learn from Sean Payton and see what that ceiling could be. Because there's a high ceiling there. Yeah, it's a low floor, but it is a high ceiling. And I think that'd be totally worth it.
I don't see the Broncos doing that, period. And I don't know if, not completely his fault. I absolutely agree with you. There was shitty offensive talent in Tennessee. There wasn't great ability. The O-line wasn't great either. Malik Willis was not going to succeed, period. But he didn't show enough to, go get him. He didn't. Now, would you say that possibly you would still go give up a draft pick for Trey Lance? Now, maybe that's an option. But I don't know. I don't know if Malik Willis has showed anything that said, yeah, you know what? This guy's got something. I think
it just makes sense for me because you're not giving up really anything from Malik Willis. Trey Lance is going to cost you something. That's why I think it's worth the risk. I also think Sam Darnold wins that job in training camp, and then things are going to get real interesting. But that's a discussion for another day.
If Brock Purdy's healthy, he's not beating Brock Purdy.
He's definitely beating Brock Purdy.
He is absolutely not beating Brock.
Definitely beating Brock Purdy.
He's not. Because he makes more mistakes mentally than anybody.
Because he's always had to force it. You get in the Kyle Shanahan offense with all those weapons, and you don't have to force it. All of a sudden, talent shines bright, my guy.
I love the Sam Darnold signing, but you've been a Sam Darnold guy from day one. I don't get it. I just don't.
I'm not. So that's a misnomer. I'm not necessarily a Sam Darnold guy, but I see a lot of talent there that has never been able to be used because of lack of talent around him, no offensive line, terrible coaching. So, of course, you're going to fail. But he's shown me enough to where I don't see any reason why he's not the best QB on San Francisco right now.
Could he win the job? Sure.
And he's only like 25, I think, 26. So he's still crazy young.
I don't know. Like, when I've watched him
he started his career with Adam Gase. Like, that alone should give you a pass.
So, physically, the guy's got some skills. Absolutely. But I just feel like he's never had it up here. That's my opinion.
I think he got ghosts in real early, and it's been hard to get rid of those. I think he started showing a whole lot of insane potential to end last season with Carolina. And then some, Cody. And then some. And then some.
It's just no. It's just no.
Yes.
It's no. It's no.
Gino and then some.
All right, hold on. We thought we would talk a little bit about the NFL draft.
Yeah, we did. So it's going to be real heavy next week. NBA playoffs and NFL draft, and then the next week is just straight. We'll mention a little NBA because I have to, and Pinky knows it, so he's graceful enough to allow me that. So we'll spend like 5 to 10 minutes in 2 weeks on the draft on the NBA playoffs, and then it'll be our mock draft the whole rest of the way. So next week, probably a quarter, maybe a little more, maybe a third NBA, Pinky, and then the rest will be draft stuff. And then the next week will be like 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes NBA, and then we're going with our mock.
Literally next week, or not 2 weeks from now, we'll do this podcast, and then literally I'm waking up at like 6 a.m. and driving to Kansas City. So our mock draft episode will be pretty crazy.
Yeah, we love doing that every year. Absolutely love it. I'm a big college football guy, so I'm all over it. Pinky loves diving into after they get out of college and start looking at film and stuff, and then developing that sense of idea of what they are. And then we bring our buddy Andy on. He's going to be with us, right? You've talked to him already. He's good to go.
Yeah, we might have to move the podcast to 8:30 that night to get him on, because he does. He's got football practice every.
So maybe we start at 8 and we do a little bit more NBA, and I get a little bit more NBA. So we might move it back in 2 weeks a little bit. We'll keep you guys updated next week. We'll have a better idea. And we'll go from there. But yeah, appreciate all you guys. We got sidetracked a a lot tonight on the NFL stuff, not surprising. But we will be very focused the next couple of weeks because we love draft time. It's Pinky's favorite time of the year. I love it because selfishly and cockiness in me thinks I have a good eye for talent. And I feel like watching as much college as I do and coming to the NFL, I feel like I've got an idea of what I'm talking about. Plus, I think the NFL is a consistent square peg round hole. And if you've watched this before, you've heard me say that. A lot of talent fails in the NFL because the people coaching them have a job for some reason when they shouldn't, and they refuse to develop guys based on their max skill set. So we talk a lot about that with the draft too. So it'll be a lot of fun.
The draft is so fun because every team is 0-0. Every team is 0-0. And you're just adding potential talent to your squad to help you get better. That's what's great about the NFL draft. And when you go to the draft, it's just a completely different experience. Chatting with everybody, all the different fans, everybody from different teams. It's awesome. People who go to the draft love football, right? They love their team. It's a completely different thing.
And then the following week, our boy Cody will be on because May 2nd is a Tuesday, and that is the first night of the NHL playoffs starting. So, Cody, get ready because you're coming on May 2nd to discuss the NHL playoffs the week after the draft, and we'll recap the draft, do some NHL playoffs. NBA playoffs will still be rolling. So, this is one of our favorite times of the year. Things get busy real quick. We got a lot to discuss. Stick with us. We appreciate it.
Go Avs. That is
Avs,
absolutely right. Although, I mean, let's be honest. We're hoping the Bruins get beat at some point.
President's Cup winner, curse, out first round. We won't worry about it. That's the goal. On that note, we appreciate everyone for supporting us. We love being part of the MHRT network. There's a lot of great stuff on this network. Check it out. 5280 podcast. The neighborhoods that they do when they grab everybody and bring them in for different discussions. Wild Wild West, Broncos Breakdown, Cluster Puck that talks about the Avs. Mainly Broncos, which is a new one that is amazing with those guys. And then the BPA show that just started. Those guys know their draft stuff. So we're going to talk our own draft because we love to, and we love discussing that potential and everything. These guys do it year round. So if you want a more in-depth of something, probably go check them out. And as always, do not take advantage of the moments you have with your loved ones, family, friends, anybody you consider in that inner circle. Let them know you care. We're out.
Hold on. I'll tell you one thing.
Go.
I was texting a buddy of mine. He's the best man at my wedding. I don't see him a lot because he's in California. I text him to get his address because we're sending out graduation announcements. And he was like, "Hey, man, I'm driving. Can I call you?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, call me." Talked for 30 minutes. Awesome. And I will tell you, I haven't talked to him for about 6 months. Anytime we talk, it's like we never stop talking.
Hell yeah.
And he said, I cherish your friendship and the things we've done and the things that we do. And it literally was like, damn it. Thank you so much, bro. I needed that. I love it. And that's part of that. Like, connect with those people that are in your inner circle that maybe you don't all the time. Let them know, like, how you feel. Let them know your thoughts. Like, hey, I love you, man. Hey, thank you. I've learned so much from you. Like, there's so much that you can do to just show that appreciation. It goes a long way.
Absolutely does. That's my guy right there. Pinky is my man. There's a reason we can do this and go at each other as hard as we can because we know after this is done, it don't matter. So we always end the show that way. We will always end the show that way. And we love the support. Everybody that's out there supporting us, listening to us, following us, liking us, whatever it is, we appreciate it. We're out. Peace.